Neuralink and the Death of Language. Welcome back. I am Adeline, 11 times published author. Language is arguably the greatest invention in human history. It allowed us to move beyond instinct, beyond gesture, and beyond brute force. It enabled us to build civilizations, preserve knowledge, and create meaning that could survive across generations. It's the foundation of law, literature, diplomacy, memory, identity, and even love. Without language, culture doesn't scale. Without language, memory doesn't transmit. And without language, there is no history, just instinct. But today, language is being quietly dismantled. The dismantling isn't coming through policy, censorship, or war. It's coming through interface. The rise of brain-to-brain communication, being developed by companies like Neuralink, promises to eliminate the need for spoken or written words altogether. In their place, pure data, thought-to-thought transmission, no middleman, no interpretation, no delay. Neuralink's long-term vision is to enable direct exchange of complex information, feelings, memories, sensations, between brains. This isn't sci-fi speculation. These systems are already in animal trials. Human testing has begun. Synchron, another neurotech company, has already implanted devices into human volunteers. DARPA has been researching cognitive enhancement and neural communication for years. This is happening now, and its implications are not just scientific, they're civilizational. At first glance, the idea seems almost utopian. No more miscommunication, no language barriers, no need for interpretation. A world of total understanding. But that's the illusion, because what we're losing is far greater than we realize. And once it's gone, we won't get it back. Language is not just a tool. It's a filter. It forces us to think before we speak, to reflect before we explain, to find the right word rather than just dump raw reaction. It gives time for empathy. It allows for ambiguity. It preserves nuance, rhythm, and tone. In the space between thought and speech lies negotiation, diplomacy, seduction, apology, humor, poetry, everything that makes us emotionally intelligent and socially complex. Remove the filter, and you don't get pure truth. You get signal without shape, intention without grace. A stream of raw data that may be fast and accurate, but is stripped of the beauty and meaning that only language can provide. The death of language is also the death of narrative. And without narrative, there's no memory worth keeping. Stories don't exist in direct data. They exist in pacing, in build-up, in metaphor, in shared cultural meaning. A story isn't just a list of events. It's the way those events are told. It's the tone, the silence, the choice of words, the delay before the punchline. When you bypass language, you bypass all of that. We already see this shift happening in daily life. Text messages are being replaced by reaction icons. Whole conversations are being reduced to 3 emojis. And now express full emotional states. Predictive text finishes our sentences before we do. Voice notes are replacing letters. Deepfakes can imitate our speech. AI chatbots can simulate conversation. And all of this is sold to us as convenience. But convenience is the soil in which memory erodes. Ancient societies revered language. Their most powerful figures were not warriors, but orators. The ability to speak well was the foundation of leadership. From Greek philosophers to African griots, from Roman senators to American civil rights leaders, humanity was moved, not by raw thought, but by crafted language. Speech was a weapon, a tool, a prayer, a spell. It could change the direction of nations. It still can. But not for long. Because in a world of neural interfaces, there is no speech. There is no pause. There is only upload, download, data in, data out. There is no longer the luxury of being misunderstood, or of taking time to be understood. What we don't realize is that misunderstanding has value. It creates space for correction. It creates space for growth. It gives us the ability to be forgiven, to revise, to refine. When all thought is transmitted in real time, we lose the ability to step back and reframe what we mean. And in doing so, we lose a fundamental aspect of human development, learning through expression. Neuralink's technology also introduces something more dangerous, the loss of interiority. Language is how we process our private thoughts. We think in words, we journal, we vent, we pray. These are acts of containment, of mental hygiene. But if every thought is potentially shareable, that containment dissolves. Thought becomes public property. Privacy dies, not just for our actions, but for our imagination. And that is a far more intimate kind of loss. Once language dies, so does delay. Everything becomes instant. Reaction replaces response. Emotional regulation declines. Our mental life becomes performative. Instead of thinking deeply, we broadcast efficiently. Instead of speaking with care, we transfer without discretion. And when everyone is transmitting constantly, the world becomes louder, but not clearer. We've seen previews of this already. Social media rewards outrage over dialogue. Reaction videos outperform long-form essays. People form conclusions based on headlines, not arguments. The decline of language is a signpost. It tells us we're leaving behind the world of meaning and entering the world of momentum. The shift isn't accidental. The systems we're building favor compression over conversation, efficiency over reflection, predictability over poetry. And when the brain itself is integrated into that system, when it no longer needs to slow down to translate thought into language, we stop thinking the way humans were meant to think. We begin to think the way machines process. Language has always been messy. It's full of contradictions, idioms, inside jokes, cultural references, and emotional baggage. That's why it works. Because life is messy. Meaning is not always logical. The magic of language is that it allows us to shape the inexpressible, to approximate the sacred, to hint at the unspeakable. When we replace that with direct brain-to-brain data, we're not improving communication. We're removing its humanity. This future will be marketed as a solution. Neural integration will be sold as a cure for disease, a way to boost intelligence, a method for enhanced learning. And it may deliver all of that, but in doing so, it may also eliminate the need for dialogue altogether. No more letters, no more books, no more poetry, apology, or persuasion. Thought becomes currency. Conversation becomes obsolete. Language becomes excess. And in that silence, something foundational will vanish. Not because it was banned, but because it was no longer needed. And when the last word is spoken, it won't be remembered. Because no one will be listening with ears. They'll be downloading with nodes. And the story, our story, will end, not with a bang or a whisper, but with a seamless stream of data no one will bother to narrate. Hi, I am Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and SOS, School of Soul has a brand new series, the AI and Future Technology series. Look, you know the world is changing, and no, it's not going back to normal. Normal is over, and what's coming next is beyond anything we were prepared for. The School of Soul, AI and Future Technology series includes 319 videos on 1. The Download Society, How Data Has Replaced Destiny. 2. Predictive Future. Your next moves aren't random, they're forecasted. 3. Social Credit Systems. The behavioral economy now governs access. 4. Hive mind, synthetic telepathy, and collective algorithmic control. 5. Nanobots inside you, medical, military, and programmable intrusions. 6. Grief tech, AI-fueled digital resurrection and simulated comfort. 7. Uploading your mind, consciousness transfer, and data-based identity. 8. Deep fakes plus AI clones, the replication of reality and identity theft. 9. Quantum humans, the merger of biology with quantum systems. 10. Digital afterlife, where your data goes when you die. 11. Resurrection science, reviving life through synthetic methods. 12. Immortal science, the end of death as we know it. 13. Longevity science, gene editing, anti-aging, and bio-upgrades. 14. Designer babies, engineered perfection before birth. 15. Artificial wombs, birth decoupled from the female body. 16. 3D printing, printing organs, limbs, and even humans. 17. The humanoid era, the rise of synthetic beings among us. 18. Legacy humans, the slow phase-out of unmodified analog people. 19. Smart cities, algorithmic environments that watch and decide. 20. Cloud-based societies, citizenship without borders or bodies. 21. Hackable humans, emotion, memory, and behavior under code. 22. Biometric scanning, your body is your password and your prison. 23. Sex tech, intimacy reprogrammed by machines. 24. Extinction of gender, fluidity, deletion, and design of identity. Every topic is fully explored with real-world technologies, patents, case studies, ethical analysis, and future forecasts. These aren't someday discussions. This is already happening. Join the SOS School of Soul Vault to overstand the future before it's implemented on you.